Thich Nhat Hanh said, "Without mud, there can be no lotus." If you keep waiting to feel ready, you'll keep avoiding the exact part that makes you stronger. There was once a young warrior in a small castle town who wanted to be known for discipline. He talked about training the way most people talk about tomorrow. Confident, certain, always later. Some mornings he'd wake before dawn, tie his belt, step into the yard with his wooden sword. He'd land a few clean cuts, just enough to feel impressive. Then the cold would creep in, and his mind would start bargaining. He'd go back inside, telling himself he'd make it up when he had more energy. One day his teacher didn't argue. He walked him to a temple pond where the water looked dark and messy. The bottom was mud. Leaves floated on the surface, and in the middle of it, lotus flowers rose above the mess, open to the sun. The teacher said the part that mattered was the order of the process. Mud first, then the stem, then the bloom. No waiting for perfect water. No waiting for a perfect mood. You know this cycle. You start hard things in bursts, then drift the moment the work turns quiet. You sit down to work, and your brain offers 10 better ideas, most of them useless. It suggests cleaning your desk, checking messages, fixing your playlist. Anything that feels productive without risking failure. On strong days, you push through and prove you still have it. On ordinary days, the task feels heavier than it should, so you avoid it. Each avoidance teaches your brain a quick equation. Hard work means discomfort, and discomfort means leave. Willpower changes with sleep, stress, and mood. A method gives you rails that hold on an average day. In this video, you're going to learn the Lotus Method, a 3-stage way to start hard work even when motivation is missing. By the end, you'll have one simple routine you can run on your worst day without turning it into a fight. The Lotus begins where you would rather not stand, in the mud. That is where most people quit. They wait to feel clear, confident, and in control. Meanwhile, the work sits there untouched, growing heavier in your head. Mud means starting while resistance is still present, using an entry step so small your brain cannot turn it into a debate. Your first move must be easy enough to do while you are annoyed, tired, or distracted. The goal is to open the gate. Standards come later, once you are moving. Think about the task you keep delaying. It could be studying, writing, training your body, or building a skill that scares you because it would prove what you are capable of. Your mind resists because it links the task to a whole mood. It cannot see the end of the discomfort, so it tries to escape early. It expects serious focus, a perfect setup, a long session, and high pressure. Mud breaks that link by giving you a small entry, then letting the session earn its way into more. Pick one entry action that takes 2 minutes or less, and keep it obvious. With writing, you open the file and put down one plain sentence you can delete later. For studying, open the notes and rewrite one concept in your own words. In training, change clothes and do the first warm-up movement. Then, attach that entry action to a stable cue in your day. Use the same place, the same time, or the same trigger. When people repeat a behavior in a consistent context, it becomes more automatic over time. One well-known habit study found an average of about 66 days to reach that automatic feeling, with big variation depending on the person and the behavior. Mud also needs permission to begin badly, because perfection blocks the first step. If resistance shows up, do not negotiate with it. Notice it, then begin the entry action anyway. That is mud. You are teaching your brain that discomfort can exist and the work can still start. The stem repeats one job over and over. It carries you upward without needing a speech. In this stage, structure carries you when mood does not. Most people fail here because they build routines that are too complicated. They write a perfect schedule, break it once, then abandon it. A stem routine survives by staying simple and keeping one clear shape. You need a start ritual, one target, and a clean stop. Simple wins here because fancy routines break fast. The ritual is the same every time. Sit down, remove one distraction, and begin the first small piece. Do not ask how you feel. Run the ritual. The target matters because vague practice feels endless. Endless work makes the mind run. Pick one weakness to aim at for this session. With writing, aim at clarity or trimming. In studying, aim at one topic you keep missing. For training, aim at one movement pattern that needs control. Stop while the rep is still clean. When every session ends in exhaustion, your brain starts fearing the next one. End sessions with control, and your brain learns that practice is survivable. This is also where if-then planning helps. Psychologist Peter Gollwitz's work on implementation intentions shows that linking a cue to a planned action can improve follow-through. Decide ahead of time what you will do when the moment arrives. After dinner, you sit down for the session. When you get home, you change into training clothes. When you notice yourself stalling, you begin with the 2-minute entry action. You move the decision earlier. You do not ask a tired brain to invent discipline at the exact moment it feels weakest. STEM also uses the environment. Put the tool within reach, put the distraction out of reach, and make the right action the path of least resistance. Move your phone to another room during the session. Remove the social shortcut that keeps pulling you back. Bring your notes to the top of the desk before you leave the room. People notice the bloom, yet the work begins earlier. Bloom is what you get after mud and stem have reshaped your days. In bloom, the work feels less like a daily argument and more like something you do because it belongs to you. That shift is quiet. It shows up on a messy day. Bloom has 2 parts. One is a minimum practice you do no matter what. The other is a deeper session you do when you have the time and energy. The minimum keeps the skill warm. It prevents the brutal restart. The deeper session is where you improve. Picture someone studying for an exam while working a job. Some nights are clean and open. Other nights are not. On a rough night, the minimum could be 15 minutes, tightening 1 page of notes and checking 1 mistake. On a good night, the deeper session could be a full set of practice questions and a review. Treat that minimum as a promise you keep. You show up in small form because you are the kind of person who shows up. Bloom also needs a weekly check-in. Once a week, ask yourself where you showed up, where you drifted, and what one adjustment would make next week easier. Keep it short. Write the minimum for the next week in plain language. Write 1 target for your deeper sessions. The mud does not disappear. Life does not become calm on command, but the process holds. You can begin inside resistance, move on rails, and keep the practice alive even when life gets messy. If you have been waiting for willpower, you have been waiting for weather. The Lotus Method gives you a process that works in ordinary conditions. Start in mud with a 2-minute entry action. Build a stem with a ritual, 1 target, and a clean stop. Protect the bloom with a minimum that keeps you connected, plus deeper sessions that make you better. Pick 1 hard thing you have been avoiding. Choose your entry action today. Begin, even if you do not feel ready. The lotus never waits for perfect water. As always, thank you for watching.